Okay guys, let's get started on our branch tapestry. I like to start by having all of my yarn and supplies on hand. Start by threading the needle. Again, pushing the loop through the eye. You don't want to tie that thread to the needle if you can avoid it. We're going to start by doing an under-over pattern, just like we did for our cardboard loom. We're going to go over what we call the front layer and behind the back layer. Notice how I'm pulling the yarn all the way through each time. This is part of having good weaving technique. You'll notice that your threads are going to start to take on this zigzag pattern. The idea is that by adding this weft, we're going to bring those two layers of warp together to create a cohesive loom. So just remember, under, over, under, over. That first layer should be under the back layer, over the front layer. Just a reminder, don't forget to sketch out your designs before you get too involved in the weaving process. This will give us a game plan as we continue to weave our branch. Don't forget, the requirements for this project are as follows. You need an example of either the closed circuit or the raya. I need to see a variety of different colors and overall good weaving technique. This means that we haven't pulled the threads too tightly, that we followed that under-over pattern consistently, and that we continue to push down the threads. I like to push down the threads in between each layer.
If you have any questions about the criteria, check out the rubric found on your Google submission slide.
Alright, now it's time for the second layer. This time we're going to go opposite the first. So again, now we're going under the top and over the back. It's almost like we're threading between the two layers. Simply repeat this process as many times as you like. Be patient. If you misstep in the pattern, I recommend going back and fixing it. Missteps will often let the white warp show through in the final product, and we don't want that. We want to see consistent weft throughout. You can use both your fingers or a fork to push down. Okay, now I'm going to go over how to start a new thread. Simply tie your new thread to the warp strings. Those are those vertical white strings. And when in doubt, double knot. And then continue your pattern. Stay tuned as we watch the time lapse of me completing the branch tapestry. Eventually, as you continue to weave your loom, you may run out of space at the vertex of your Y. That's like the point where the two branches meet. So you don't have to go all the way to that inner point throughout the entirety of your loom. Just fill up that warp until you can't fit any more weft, and then move on to the next one. Again, the goal is to completely fill the loom as much as possible. So again, don't forget to push down those weft strings. Here you see me doing the closed circuit weave. The closed circuit is the weave where we have the different sections of color alternating on a single string. Okay, now is the time to add the raya. Notice how I'm adding the raya to the outside of my branch. I'm simply weaving the strings through the warp and tying them together. You can add your raya inside the tapestry itself or along the edge of the branch. It's up to you. I'm using the needle to help push the strings through that warp because it's tied very tightly. It's a little bit tricky, but in the end, I quite enjoyed the results. Notice how I am unfurling each of the different yarn to give it a more fluffy appearance. This is a great way to get a fuller, fluffier raya. And there we have it, a fully completed project. Notice how I filled in the entire tapestry. I've included at least 2 weaving techniques, including the standard, closed circuit, and raya. So I went above and beyond and did 3. I'm looking for good weaving technique, including consistent under-over pattern, and just overall excellent craftsmanship. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know, and I look forward to seeing your finished branch tapestries.